hours. And look out for the link to the virtual goodie bag also, where you can find lots of treats from our sessions. Without further delay, I'm excited to hand over to James and Richelle, who are going to talk to us about preparing your test takers online. Over to you guys.
Thanks, Charlie, and thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in today. We are very excited to have the chance to speak with you. If you will scroll down to the next slide. Okay, fantastic. So in today's presentation, we're going to be speaking a little bit about how we have had to adapt to the new reality of COVID. It's probably no surprise that this year has presented some daunting challenges that we are all having to come to terms with. So we're going to speak a little bit about what some of these challenges are, how they have impacted teachers, students, and institutions. And then we are going to switch to more of the positive aspect of this. What is a potential solution? And that is where we're very excited to speak with you about the new global online test preparation platform. This is a brand new test preparation tool that we have developed in partnership with E2 Language, our colleagues in Australia. So we have a very rare opportunity to give you a closer look at this platform. This is something that is truly a one-stop digital solution for test preparation for students, teachers, and institutions. We're also going to spend a little bit of time speaking about when and where this will be available, how you can get access to it, and some of those logistics. So thank you again for everyone who has joined, and we will delve right into this. Next slide, please. And over to my colleague, James.
Hi, everyone. So we want to find out what are some of the challenges that you, your students, or your centre directors or managers face in the current climate. So Charlie will be sending around a poll now to get your feedback and input on these issues. But whilst you're filling it out, here are some of the issues that we've identified. We noticed that students had particular fears around the quality of online teaching, particularly as the medium of instruction changed to online. Visual learners were used to seeing things on a whiteboard or displayed to them, so they can take notes or absorb that information, and purely auditory instruction was a concern. They were also nervous about the materials. So how could they ensure that the teacher could provide the same quality online? Would they have to follow a course book online? How would they engage in deep thinking work? And would the flow of the lessons be different? So these were the main student concerns. And so please do remember them for later, because we'll be coming back to them. Teachers were more concerned around, well, more or less the same. They worried about their own competence moving online and whether they could give the same level of instruction and expertise. So I've done my CELTA, and most hadn't been taught how to teach online with their CELTA or Delta courses. So this was a completely different interaction style, as it would be in the classroom. So they were wondering what would happen with pair work and group work. Would they need a pro Zoom account for breakout rooms? How would they get the same ideas across and check knowledge without monitoring the classroom? So there was a lot of classroom dynamics and technology related fears here. Institutions, on the other hand, were more focused on maintaining enrollment to their schools and making sure students kept on coming to their schools, especially in areas that are quite touristy, and relied on seasonal ELT business. They were also worried about how quickly and easily they could shift online. And this is an issue that still exists today. How can a school operate effectively online? How do you manage teachers, test students, create classes, and provide that same level of excellent service? These were all completely novel and new questions in this environment. So Charlie, hopefully you managed to get that poll out. Okay, perfect. Do we have any results of the poll?
It's being answered currently now.
Okay, fantastic. So
you'll see the poll on your screen. If you select your answers, then click submit at the bottom.
And we just want to hear, what are some of the challenges that you've faced as a teacher or as a student or as a centre director or owner?
Great, so we're getting answers in now. Perhaps give it another sort of 30 seconds.
Sure. You can use the chat to type in your answers as well if you can't access the poll or can't use the poll. We've got one, adapting my teaching style to online and keeping students engaged. Yeah, that was the big one we saw. Student engagement, yeah, completely. It's hard to keep them engaged when it's a completely different medium, yeah, and adapting your teaching style, exactly. Lack of computers or cell phones or internet connection, that's a new one.
Yeah, that's a big challenge.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on, Charlie, and then we'll come back to.
Would you like to see the results of those?
Yeah, that would be good. If you can.
There you go. You should see them on your screen now.
Oh, so it's relatively evenly distributed, but adapting teaching style online. Yeah, I get that. That was the kind of most prominent one. Okay, right. So let's move on to the next slide if we can. So those are the challenges that we saw more globally with teachers and the challenges that COVID-19 has presented. But we're going to dive into test prep now. And we know that test preparation and teaching test preparation is tough. And so we would like to hear from you, what are some of your challenges in teaching test preparation, specifically online? We know, for instance, and this is again from some research, that teachers have in-depth knowledge of their exams, the exams that the institution offers, and are able to field questions from students around IELTS bands or exam rubrics or task type strategies. And taking this knowledge online may not be the most difficult element of it. The most difficult element that we've heard was giving students best-in-class content, the new online medium, and then adapting as you've written your teaching style to provide the same level of efficacy online as you would in a classroom. So this new method of instruction has to be comprehensive, detailed, and fun and engaging. Otherwise, we know that students switch off instantly. So handouts won't cut it. Sending course books via email or WeTransfer just don't cut it. Teachers need an all-purpose toolkit to be able to deliver effective training online. And so this is where Pearson's new online test prep product that Charlie mentioned earlier comes in. So if you want to write in the chat, or again, Charlie will send a poll around which are the most, that's the old one.
Yeah.
Which are the most difficult things about teaching test preparation specifically, opposed to general English preparation?
Yeah.
So feel free to use the chat or type the message in the poll. I think, Charlie, you may need to go on mute, actually, because I think people are saying that the audio quality is not great. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Hopefully that's a bit better for everyone. Yeah, so not interested. They prefer being on their social networks. Yeah, that's a big one. And it's not just online that we face this challenge. This was also when I was in the classroom, students would always be looking online and looking on them. There are distractions everywhere. And I think this is the point, though, that the materials that you teach online have to be designed to be taught online. Otherwise, students lose interest very quickly. So you need to be able to adapt your teaching style online so that students engage more readily with your content and with your material. So it's difficult. It's difficult. And a lot of us weren't taught that way to teach online. So this is why I'm excited about what I'm about to tell you. So, okay. Yeah, perfect. Let's move on, Charlie. Thank you very much. So we are really, really excited to bring you what I consider to be the premier online test preparation toolkit for teachers. We're calling it Pearson's Global Online Test Prep Portal. It was made by teachers for teachers and can be used both inside and outside the classroom, i.e. online. We worked with an Australian partner who some of you may know, called E2 Language. And they're one of the premier online test prep providers in the world. And what we do is we offer teachers ready-made lessons for some of the major high-stakes tests, including IELTS, TOEFL, OET, and PTE Academic. And in fact, we offer up to 36 weeks worth of content for each of these, except for the OET. You can use this product in private language schools, secondary schools, and universities. And we've already done the heavy lifting on this. We've created pre-made structured courses. So if you're in a language school that teaches IELTS for 1 month, we have a structure for you already made. If you teach PTE General in a university, PTE Academic in a university, we have that structure for you already made as well. So everything is there. All you need to do is plug in and play. We also offer automated marking, which I know some of you would really like. Automated marking for reading and listening, and a pronunciation and accuracy app for speaking feedback, as well as all of the kind of exam rubrics for the test. So if your student is speaking to you and you don't know where they fall on the IELTS, we give you helpful and useful exam rubrics so that you can put their score in place, and then we come up with the exact score that they would get in that case. So I'll pass over to Richelle now, who will show you a quick video on the product and give you some more information around the benefits.
Thank you, James. Hopefully by this point, everyone is very curious about the product itself, and instead of imagining what this would look like, we have a chance to give you a sneak peek inside the platform. So Charlie, if you would kindly scroll to the next slide. We have a short video from our partner with E2 Language, Jared, who will walk you through some of the benefits.
The Pearson Global Online Test Preparation Platform, powered by E2 Language, is a powerful new way to study for, teach, and manage high-stakes English language tests. The platform has logins for students, teachers, and administrators, and can be used in a face-to-face setting, entirely online, or both. The platform includes state-of-the-art digital materials for PTE Academic, IELTS Academic, IELTS General, TOEFL, and OET for both students and teachers. Let's take a look at the student login. The student login gives candidates everything they need to prepare for exam day success, including diagnostic tests for quick course placement and pinpointed areas of need, live classes taught by their local teachers fully online or in the classroom, live class recordings in case students miss a class or want to review something, self-study material including interactive practice questions, methodology lessons, speaking and writing assessments, and full-length mock tests, booking functionality for one-on-one appointments such as speaking mock tests or writing tutorials, an internal messaging system, as well as access to additional skill-building courses for pronunciation and academic vocabulary. Now let's look at the teacher login. The GOTP platform gives the teacher full control of the learning process, including scheduling functions for live group classes and one-on-one appointments, ready-made digital lesson plans for all skills and all tests to be used in the classroom or fully online, marking tools with automated rubrics for speaking and writing assessments, student performance tracking, including automatic flagging of students who are underperforming, full internal messaging functions for whole course, whole class, or individual student communication, a full teacher how to use course, as well as help desk support. Finally, let's look at the administrative functions of the GOTP platform. School managers can transition their schools overnight to a fully online teaching, learning, and assessment platform that includes course publishing functions to create unique offerings, a student and teacher management system to monitor student enrolments and teachers, an internal messaging system and community posting for school-wide communication and engagement, live class scheduling functions and full school timetable oversight, appointment type settings to create specific interaction types for your school, student performance tracking to make sure every student is progressing towards exam day success. So, if you're a student, teacher, or administrator of PT Academic, IELTS Academic, IELTS General, TOEFL or OET, then make the digital shift to the Pearson Global online test preparation platform powered by E2 Language.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Charlie. So I was reading the comments as they came in, and I see there was a lot of positive feedback. So thank you very much. We're really glad that everyone was interested and excited to see that. So now that we've had a chance to take a look within the platform, there's a little bit more information that we want to share with you and have the chance to speak through. So I'll just wait until we catch up to the slide after the video. Yes, perfect.
Brilliant. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. So there's a bit more information. The course itself, as I mentioned, has a variety of durations for your business. So if your language center or if your university offers 1 month preparation, it's all in there, or 36-week university preparation, it's all in there as well. So we have pretty much all cases you could think of in terms of our course structures, and would be interested in hearing more about which course duration you think you would use. So feel free to put it in the chat whether you think you'd use our 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 or 36-week course duration. And yeah, we'd be interested in hearing what you have to say. In terms of the content itself, because I know you're interested in what is actually contained within the course, we have hours and hours of authentic practice material and full practice tests for each of those exams. So PTE, IELTS, OET and TOEFL. And we're adding to this exam list as well in the future. We also have key vocabulary and language training on the platform. So this is not just a practice application, it goes far beyond that. When students first join the platform, they can go through, this can be through your institution sending them a link. They are immediately given a free diagnostic test, which is a practice test based on whichever exam they have chosen. The school can then collect this test automatically with 50% of it already graded, which is the reading and listening portions. And then they can mark the speaking and writing assessments quickly and easily with the exam rubrics that you saw, and then send it back to the student with a recommendation of how long they can study in the school. It's really that simple. Once the student enrolls, they can see the classes they've been assigned to and immediately get notified. They can then see the link to the video and join group classes from the platform. So Richelle will explain a little bit more about this video function.
Okay, thank you, James. And it's also quite exciting. Charlie just informed me that we can actually scroll through the slides ourselves. So I'll be doing that now. For this one, we wanted to just speak a little bit about the videos that are contained within the platform and a little bit about how the student and teacher journeys will work. So one of the first things the student will do is to take that diagnostic test, then that will place them into a course. And then from there, a student is sort of delving on their own personalized learning journey. So the teachers are able to deliver the classes all directly through the platform. So hopefully this will make for a very seamless, organized experience, both for teachers, institutions, and then definitely from the student perspective. So students will be able to book and join the classes directly from within the platform based on a schedule that works for them. So hopefully this is a massive benefit to test takers. The teachers then are guided with pre-made lessons. So we know how strapped everyone is today with respect to time. the fact that the lessons are ready-made and already within the platform is hopefully a massive benefit to having the GOTP platform. Something else that's worth noting, sometimes you just can't make it to a particular class. For whatever reason, you just can't attend that one. So if you decide to, you can record that class, and then students have the opportunity to watch it and catch it later. Of course, if there are privacy concerns, you don't need to record the course. This may be for in the case of young learners, but the option is there, and I'm sure you can find the right solution with your institution. So that is definitely one benefit that we think will be a massive plus to people when using the platform. I will scroll down now. And something else that we thought was worth noting is the fact that there is automated marking and the gradebook function. So what does that mean exactly? So for the automated marking, there are exam rubrics for teachers where they can act as graders for the placement test and for the speaking and writing. Now, the automated marking is mainly for the speaking and writing sections, those that are considered more of the productive tasks, where I think there can perhaps be a little bit more subjectivity, and you might want to spend a bit more time augmenting the grade, providing feedback. So that option is definitely there. But the fact that there is that automated marking where something is truly objective, that is contained within the platform and is hopefully a massive benefit. Something else that's worth noting with the gradebook, so this is completely contained within the platform. One of the massive benefits here is the fact that if you're a teacher or if you're an institution, you do have oversight as to what's happening in your classroom. You can see if there are any students who are perhaps struggling in some areas, falling behind more than others. That will be observed within the gradebook. And it's also helpful for students too, I think, because they can see their own progress. They can know how they're doing, what elements they need to spend a bit more time on, and where they need to focus and prepare a little bit more. So this is something that is beneficial from both sides of the spectrum. And that takes us to the learner journey. So what is happening within the platform from the student, the test taker perspective? So students log into the platform. They have the option of doing the self-study content. So these are the areas that individual students might need to spend a bit more time on. So the skills and things that I might struggle with are going to be different than those of James. So each of us can sort of move within the platform and focus on the skills that we need to master and to get the score that ultimately we need to achieve our objectives. So this allows you to do that. Something else that I think is really cool about this is the fact that there is intra messaging within the platform. So you don't have to worry about sending that side email that goes to your teacher, waiting for a reply. Everything is contained here. So you can just quickly send your teacher a message. I need a little bit of help with this. I have a question. And your teacher can come back to you directly within the platform. You can also arrange your one-to-one classes. So if you would like to do a session just with a teacher, that is possible. Of course, like we showed in the previous screen, you can definitely attend one of the live classes, one of the larger ones that exists within there. For the student, they're also submitting all of their work directly through the platform. So again, I think this really helps aid with the organization of the class, and also the fact that everything is contained here within the gradebook. So a student never has to doubt how they're doing in the class. And then lastly, as we just mentioned, if you did want to record a class and give the students the options to rewatch it or to revisit it, that is available within the platform as well. So hopefully we've given you a nice little taste of what the student sees. James, do you want to tell them a bit about the teacher side of things?
Yeah, sure. So I know most of you, well, quite a lot of you here are probably teachers. So the teacher journey is quite simple. We try to make it as easy as possible. So when the teacher joins the platform, they are given the hundreds of hours of pre-made lessons that they can quickly and easily present and teach from. So I know a lot of your concerns at the beginning of this session were around how do I adapt my teaching style to online and how do I use my materials online? So this is where GOTP really shines. So we provide you all of that adapted material for online teaching. You can also set and receive homework easily within the platform and can listen to students speaking and view their writing attempts and mark them with the rubrics that we mentioned earlier. You can also respond to any queries that students have and check and monitor their progress to see if they're doing well or if they're doing badly, and then schedule calls with students who may be doing worse than expected. So we've tried to capture the real student-teacher experience that would happen in the classroom and put it online, but add to that all of the online benefits. So I'll hand back to Richelle now with the final bit of information around how you can incorporate this into your school or into your teaching.
Thank you, James. I can read from the comments that there are a lot of questions around availability. How do I get access to this? Which is fantastic. We're really thrilled to see that. So initially, we are looking at a few particular markets for the first wave of the global online test preparation platform. So as you can see from the slide, we're looking at Latin America initially, and it's actually already available there, which is great. So just a couple of days ago. Next, we're taking a look at Japan, Singapore, Vietnam, and Australia from tomorrow. And then lastly, the UAE and Saudi Arabia in the initial wave. So this is where we're looking initially come January. Hopefully there will be some more countries and more options. I see someone just commented about China. Hopefully that's not too far behind. And one other thing worth noting here is also the fact that how do you gain access to this? What do the startup costs look like? How does all of that work? I see there have been a few questions about that. So I think it's worth noting that there are 0 recurring costs to the institution. So one way that you can think about this is the fact that it's sort of like a B2C product that's similar to a course book, where you can sort of add this on to your test preparation offerings. So that's a little bit of a way that you can contextualize how you can gain access to this and what the business model might look like. However, at the end of the presentation, after we have a chance to speak with you and hear some questions, we do have a very short questionnaire we're going to send out. If you are based in one of these 10 countries, and if you do want to have the chance to take a look at the platform in greater detail, please be sure to spend a couple seconds filling this out and we'll get in touch. So right now it is just these 10 countries. However, we are looking at expanding this next year. So be sure to fill out that survey, which will be coming probably in the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, even if you're not from, sorry to interrupt, but even if you're not from one of those 10 countries and you'd like to register your interest in the platform, please fill it out. I can see all of these countries that are coming up here: Brazil, Croatia, Ukraine. So, you know, it would be interesting to hear from you how whether you're interested or not in receiving this platform. So go ahead, Richelle.
Definitely. Thank you. That was a really important footnote. Yeah. So even if you're not based in one of these countries, please be sure to fill out the survey so we can get in touch with you. And I think with that, we'd love to open this up to hear your questions. I see there have been a few that have come through chat, and we may have had a few submitted before. Charlie, if you're still there, will you help navigate us with the questions, please?
So first of all, just to answer people's initial queries about the survey, the survey will be sent out in the thank you.
A couple of the questions already are fill out where is the survey. So Richelle, do you want to just answer that one then?
Yeah, sure thing. So we're going to send this in the follow-up email. There will be a link in that. And it's actually just a short, I think maybe 5 or 6 questions. We'd like to hear your name, your institution, where it's located, and also what type of institution or academy you are. And then we'll be following up with you. So it's just a very quick questionnaire. If you could spend a minute filling that out. Thank you.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Sorry. Okay. No, I was explaining that about the survey that will be coming after. So we've had a couple of questions in, two quite straightforward ones here. So how much does the access cost? Or where can people find this information?
Ooh, James, do you want to take that one?
So as Richelle said, there's no cost for the institution to pay as in a recurring cost. This is not a platform that charges the institution on a recurring basis. This is similar to a course book that you would put into a normal course of study for a student. So a student would book the 36-week course for PT Academic, and this would be factored into that cost as part of their study. So there's no direct immediate cost for the institution.
Great. Thank you very much for that. And then there is, I've had just one other, actually. Still people asking about the survey. Just to confirm, that will be in the thank you email that will be sent to you after the session. The other question is, does the platform work with any product key, or should it be a particular product?
So I think it is worth noting that there are specific tests that you're preparing for within the platform initially. So these would include, hopefully, what are the major assessment high stakes exams. So the Pearson Test of English Academic is one of them, IELTS, TOEFL, and OET Academic. James, is that everything so far? Okay, great. Yes, so it does work specifically with those tests, just to confirm that.
Thank you, Richelle. James, were you going to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to add that we are looking at also expanding this. I know that some people may teach different exams. We are looking at potentially expanding that list of exams that we do offer as well.
Great. Okay, thank you. Good. We haven't had any other questions in, so please, guys, if you do have anything, this is sort of your last chance.
Scrolling through just to double check that we haven't had any.
So James, there's been one there. Perhaps you could answer this. Would you consider including TOEIC? Yes.
The answer is yes. We are looking at considering including TOEIC potentially at the start of next year.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks for that. And there was another question there that when might the product be sort of coming to any European countries? Do we have a timeline on that? Maybe not. Well,
it also depends on interest. So if Richelle can send, when you receive the survey from Richelle and you are in a European country, please do your interest so that we can identify where we can launch first and what the most interesting are.
Great. So the power is in the hands of the attendees.
Yes, please indicate your interest. That would be great.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, we haven't had any other questions come in there, so I think we're good to wrap up. James and Richelle, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been a great session as always. To all of you attendees, thank you so much for joining us and taking the time out of your day. Thanks for the questions also. Certificates will be sent out to the email address that you registered with, and a recording will be uploaded to YouTube in the coming days. We do hope to see you at another Pearson English webinar. Thanks for coming, and see you soon. Cheerio.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Charlie.